Hello and welcome, sim racing fans, to round 3 of the West Coast Sim Racing GR86 Championship. You could call it already, as points continue to already start to add up throughout this season. Coming to you live from the virtual curves of the Lime Rock Park. We're set for 40 minutes of elbows out action and one of the most momentum-focused circuits in the sim racing world. Tonight's race, it'll definitely promise that unique of precision and patience there. I was just mentioning how well of a momentum-based track this is. There you can see our Google Earth shot at it. There's really no long straights for us to reset. It is a rhythm-based track through and through. You're not going to want to make a mistake here earlier on in the race. Welcome in live to Stam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam, and we have just about 2 more minutes left of qualifying. Brandon Birch is still out on track. Driver out of Texas himself getting in a couple more laps here before we do get the drop of the green flag. Speaking of that green flag, it is a great day for racing here tonight. There you see 67-degree Fahrenheit track temp. We're working with a 1.5 mile. Mostly right-handers here. This is one of my favorite road courses within the sim racing world. You might be saying, how the hell is that? There are no left-handers. Well, okay, there's one to work with here. Of course, I prefer the left-handers over the right-handers. They're coming from NASCAR Worlds, but matter of fact, the Truck Series as well as ARCA Series was just here. Matter of fact, my buddy Alon Day, he was coming away with that race win in the ARCA Series. I think he was a little too fast, so they had to penalize him there. No, just kidding. I just missed pit entry. He did drive up from last back to second place in that race. Alon, he will be coming back to Sonoma in the ARCA Menard Series racing. I'm talking real-life racing right here. Speaking of real-life racing, I know Warren Johnson, quite a few of these West Coast sim racing drivers take part in some West Coast racing themselves in real life. Matter of fact, most of these drivers do compete in that GR86 the GR86 time trials over there in California. Cool to see these drivers take these cars out and on the virtual circuits here. I mentioned it earlier, track temp, you couldn't ask for a better day of racing. It is the morning here at Lime Rock. We still have qualifying taking parts right now. Matter of fact, I was just about to hop on board with Brandon Birch here, but as we are nestled up here within the hills, I think this is going to be once again, a great day for racing. Let's take a look at our qualifying results and our starting grid here tonight on Stam Studio Network. Actually, okay, this is psych. I'll fake you out here on that. First, we'll take a look at the ever so important points before I forget here. Shout out to Robert Schweckler for making this all happen here. Slater Colby, he's going to be leading us off up in the points, but Slater unfortunately not able to make it out here into the track tonight. How about the Algo P. de Lima, Joe Rainey, Stone Colby, Robert Schweckler sitting right there, P5 in the points. Marvin Samoya, Nico Colby. Unfortunately, I don't think the Nico Colbster is out here tonight either. Benjamin Forehand, Brandon Birch, Amethyst Reese rounding out that top 10 in the points. Daniel Parmalee, Sergi Bryan, Daniel, Jake, Ali Xay, Warren Johnson, Christian Gonzalez, and Darren Colby rounding out that 19. Okay, there we go. Now that that is out of the way, and I won't forget that, we will now look at our starting grid here, brought to you by West Coast Sim Racing, as well as those affiliates you see in the top right of your screen. West Coast Sim Racing, Race to Stop Suicide, check on those around you. Cotton Bowl Speedway, some of the best dirt track racing right outside of Austin, Texas, as well as Con Coaching. They find you time. The Algo P. de Lima, speaking of finding time, we'll slap it up here on the pole. He's going to have Joe Rainey, that number 17, Rainey Holmes Racing GR86, start right there beside him. Marvin Samoya, Juan Hallett, Daniel Higgins, Jake Steckler, Stone Colby, Brandon Birch, Paul Newton, Andreas Prienfolks, Daniel Parmalee, Amethyst Reese rounding out that 12th spot. Sergi Leonov, Benjamin Forehand, Ali Xay, Brian Reyes, Matt Benson, Andreas Profana, Warren Johnson, and Steven Shakespeare rounding out our 20-driver grid here tonight. Hey, everybody down here live in YouTube land that makes this all happen, get up, stand up for your life right now. Don't give up the fight, because here comes race number 3. I don't blame him. That's iRacing safety pace car going to dive into the safety of pit lanes. Thiago P. de Lima, Joe Rainey, here we go. Drivers go. We are already looking 3 wide back here further in the back of the pack. This is for that battle for the 9th spot. Stone Colby as well as Brandon Birch, 2 vehicle buyers, Toyota GR86s, door quarter clear for them. We will look 3 wide a little bit further in the back of the pack. Now we'll settle it back out down to 2 through the left-hander, through the right-hander, heading through what we will call the straight here tonight, the Paul Newman straight. It is everything but straight. Let me know if audio levels are a-okay down there below in YouTube land. We're going to continue to get through in our first lap here. This is only the 1.5 mile track of Lime Rock Park here. We are still starting to see some battles, but they will start to get single file here relatively quickly because we do not have really this longer straight to work with here. Matter of fact, we're on the longest straight here, heading into, once again, turn 1 and 2. It is kind of a double right-hand apex heading into this turn 1 and 2 here. We'll hop on board with our blimp cam coverage. Here's Daniel Higgins once again going right at it with Juan Hallett. Jake Steckler has a front row of this battle right here behind him. There's a little bit of contact as we make our way through the S's there through 10th and 11th. That was right about Paul Newton. They almost named this straight after here, Paul. Paul Newton finds himself -2 spots since that drop of the green flag so far as we head down and up through the hill once again. These GR86s able to take a little bit of bite out of that curve, but not faster, I will say right now. These lap times that these drivers put in practice and in the race, not faster than the NASCAR Truck Series that was just here this weekend, as well as the ARCA Menard Series. I know that they have the horsepower, but not quite the downforce levels to work with here. Back to racing action. That's just something that I thought was pretty interesting to keep an eye on here. Speaking of something interesting to keep an eye on, Joe Rainey Holmes Racing. This GR86 number 17 still continuing right where he started this race, P2, trying to reel in Thiago P. de Lima. Marvin Samoya, fastest in practice. That number 97 showing some pace here. He was P3 in qualifying, still sitting in that 3rd spot. How about Stone Colby? This is our only Colbster on the track here tonight. You best believe it. You know what that means. Some live driver cams coming at you. Matter of fact, we'll have 2 of them. Stone Colby up top. Andres Profana right there on the bottom of the screen. He is running that's a Lightning McQueen paint scheme showing P17 right now for Andres. Okay, I was looking at the timing and scoring here, but I think out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw a wave there out of Stone Colby. Stoney is continuing to work his way up and through this field. We see Stone. He has patience like a stone, continuing to put the pace to these drivers. Matter of fact, reeling them in for that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd spot. Right now, trying to get to that final driver interview spot on that rear bumper of Marvin Samoya. If you're just now joining us, welcome into Stam Studio Network, where we have a 40-minute race here tonight. Some Toyota GR86s in the West Coast Sim Racing League. These cars catching air out coming up the hill there once again. We do have that competition caution in about minute 20 of this race, able to bunch all these drivers right back up with one another, get some wave rounds happening. Right now we don't have any drivers showing a lap down of this race, but here is Andres Profana, one of those live driver cams we were just looking at, coming out and out of turn 7 right now to complete lap number 4, coming to 5 here. This is a nice run for Andres. He's still right where he started this race, but continuing to show that he has the pace here tonight. All right, apologies here. I was doing a little something behind the scenes because you're going to see something a little bit special here that I offer on Stam Studio Network. Take a look at this. This is 2 very good battles going on right here on the racetrack. This is on the top of your screen. We're looking at the battle between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th between Joe Rainey, Marvin Samoya, and Stone Colby. On the bottom of your screen, that is about, let's see here, 13th, 14th, and 15th battle between Sergey Leonov, Daniel Parmalee, and Matt Benson here. We're getting some side-by-side racing action, not only on the racetrack, but as well up here in the broadcast booth. I appreciate every single one of you who makes this happen here. Real quick, I'll check back into live YouTube chat. Hopefully everybody is having themselves a great night. 22 live viewers. Appreciate you, Terry, joining us. Moonlight Dancer Logan Stanley is in here as well. 22 of you who all make this happen. Speaking of making it happen, Daniel Parmalee and Matt Benson are starting to look side by side here. We'll cut to this battle live full screen. saw Texas on the side of that machine for Daniel Parmalee. He continues to try and work his way back up and gain some spots since that drop of the green flag. Too wide through the uphill section. I didn't think that would quite frankly work between these 4 separate sets of drivers. We are somehow making it work though here as, oh, that's the Benjamin Forehand, I think, going to go off the racetrack here, coming to complete lap 6 here to lap 7. We might take a little 3 wide action. We might bang some bumpers. We're still banging them across the start finish line. Here we go into our double right hand apex of turns 1 and 2. This is going to get tight. How are these drivers making it work? No, Daniel, no. That 64 will go out and off the racetrack there. Andreas Profana gets that spot. 1 spot gain since the drop of the green flag. How about that University of Texas at Austin? GR86 Brian Reyes working his way back up to where he started this race. He's getting a front bumper full of Alexei Andrew here as we work our way through the not so straight back straightaway, the Paul Newman straight. There we go. Brian Reyes trying to get that gas down as these drivers are starting to get a little wiggly coming out and up the hill here. UT paint scheme makes his way back and up to P16. Amethyst Reese already a winner so far this season. She finds herself having to play some Super Bowl-esque defense right now over Andreas Prienfolk as well as Paul Newton for that 9th, 10th, and 11th spot. Real quick, we haven't really missed anything out up front, but normally, if you're a newer viewer here live on Stam Studio Network, it's not too often that we see Thiago P. de Lima still within striking distance of Joe Rainey. But Thiago, after making that pass on Joe Rainey for the, he's been out here up front in front of Joe Rainey, but Joe's continuing to get a little closer here as Marvin Samoya starts to get a little closer to that rear bumper. There you see, what is that? Oh, of course it is. A Stam Studio Network real life, well, this one's fake, but real life vinyl stickers are available. Stone can contest. These stickers are worth about 10 horsepower each. If that's something that you would like to get a hold of in the real life racing world, let me know your address. If you just pay for shipping, I got you some free stickers here. I appreciate the Apex Motor Club drivers coming out and putting some real life Stam Studio Network on their machines. Here we go, Stone Colby. He's repping some also virtual stickers here as he continues to reel in Daniel Higgins. I'm telling you, right here, right now, plus 10 horsepower is working for these SSN overstock vehicle drivers. Hop on board real quick with Stone Colby once again. He's shown 2 spots gained since that drop of the green flag. This is our short shoot of a straightaway we have here into that double apex into right-hander. I love what Stone's trying to do right here. In real life, he would be just getting in that blind spot of Daniel Higgins right there in front. Unfortunately, we are working with these virtual cameras here tonight, so there's really almost no blind spots for these vehicles, but I do notice that out of Stone, he's applying quite a few real-life techniques here to Daniel Higgins to try and make this pass, set it up with quite frankly, not a couple of passing opportunities available. That number 15, putting that pace right now to the back bumper of Daniel Higgins. Side by side through our turn 6, headed through turn 7 here. I didn't think that was a passing zone there. Stone says, go ahead and watch this here, Sean. Stone showed up to P4 right now. With this competition caution, it will bunch all these drivers up in just about 10.5 minutes time. Here we go. 4-quarter runs are even heading into turns 1 and 2. That's that Joe Rainey Bumblebee yellow and black machine, or shall I say black and yellow, number 17. Still playing some nice defense, some clean defense over Marvin Samoya. Marvin, fastest driver in practice, qualified 3rd, still sitting P3. He's got Stone Colby, although starting to reel him in. Stone, once again, a shark that smells blood in the water. Speaking of a shark that smells blood in the water, here we go, a separate battle here for Amethyst Reese. Andreas Prienfolk and Paul Newton. you can definitely start to see that on that track map in the bottom right of your screen. We're starting to have separate packs of cars start to bunch themselves up, and with as light weight and as light horsepower as these cars really are, there's this one short shoot of a straightaway that we have right here is all the draft that we have to work with to keep these cars kind of sort of together right now. There you see the fastest lap times, or excuse me, these lap times last lap by. Matter of fact, it looked like Matt Benson and Daniel Parmalee putting their fastest lap times down in the session, a 56.5. And once again, each time I do look at these lap times here, boys and girls, the NASCAR series, a slight bit faster, but I used to run a series called GT4 versus NASCAR, and this is starting to take me right back to it. Lime Rock Park was the best track for us, as we don't have those straightaways for the NASCAR cars and drivers to stretch their legs and that horsepower. This is starting to make me feel like I should put up another session here. I love Lime Rock Park, one of my favorites as well as best tracks here in the session. We're starting to see battles heat up, and you can start to see why here. It is a short track, only 7 turns, 1.5 miles to work with here for these drivers. Nico Colby, welcome in live to YouTube chat. And Nico, I actually had a question for you, man. I know that you've ran in that bump and run at NASCAR Cup Series. Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, we come back to Chicago Street Course. Nico, man, I'm telling you, I know that you have the pace for road course racing. If you can wheel one of those bathtubs of a machine, one of those stock cars around Chicago Street Course, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull a Shane Van Gisbergen on the Bump and Run Cup Series. That would be so cool. That race start time is 5 p.m. your time. Next Tuesday, Nico. Stone, hey, you drivers, you got the invitation here. Be sure you let me know quick here, though, because we are on a little bit of a 2-race off season and that Bump and Run series. So they are accepting drivers right now, but not for long. So anybody that's wanting to run that NASCAR Cup car at Chicago Street Course, be sure you hit me up, and that's definitely not going to be a broadcast. That's not going to want to miss. Nico Colby is unfortunately, he hadn't made it out and onto the racetrack here tonight. The driver who has made it out and on the racetrack is Warren Johnson. He is shown right now P19, still where he started this race. Okay, that's real nice. I just noticed that the graphics, timing, and scoring on the left side of the screen has decided to go berserk here. So I'm going to try and get this sorted here real quick. I'm going to be right back with you here on Stam Studio Network. When I do get back here, you best believe I'm going to treat you to the sights and sounds of the racetrack. Matter of fact, we might have to wait on it here. The graphics might have to take a moment because Marvin Samoya, Stone Colby, and Daniel Higgins, this battle is starting to heat up and broil between these 2 and 3 and 4 drivers. This is a battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th for the moment. Alrighty, stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. I'll be right back with you to bring you these live graphics. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Stick with us here. It'll be the exact same broadcast. Just give me one moment time. Alrighty, welcome back live here to Stam Studio Network. Apologies for those technical difficulties, but come on, we got to see where your favorite drivers are running out here on track. Speaking of it, we missed a little bit of racing action. It was all clean, it was all green. We are keeping this racing rolling. Marvin Samoya moves his way up to P2. He was able to put that pass over Joe Rainey. Here comes Stone Colby. He's continuing to wait, have patience like a Stone, but Daniel Higgins is starting to reel in this gap for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If you're newer here on Stam Studio Network, of course, come on now. Driver interviews, first, second, and third. This is why you're possibly starting to see that battle for P3 start to heat up between Joe Rainey and Stone Colby. Marvin Samoya once again takes that P2 spot away as these drivers are now inching ever so closer to that competition caution coming out in just 3.5, we'll call it, minutes time. Look at this. We're going to hop on board here with Joe Rainey. His rear view mirror right now is full of that Stam Studio Network. Once again, of course, come on, 10 horsepower gains there for Stone Colby. Each sticker, 5, 10, 15. Yep, 3 times 5. Oh, okay, well, yeah, we're going to call it 15 horsepower then. VehicleBuyers.com if you're looking to buy a vehicle. VehicleBuyers.com if you're looking to sell. OverstockVehicles.com. They're pretty kind of nationwide now for this company, so appreciate what these guys and gals have done for us out and kind of behind the scenes wise, and hopefully I'm able to come up there to Apex Motor Club, bring you some live race coverage out from Apex Motor Club, Arizona. Man, this has been so fun to watch these drivers both on and off the racetrack, both in the virtual and real life worlds here. Stone Colby continues to reel in Joe Rainey ever so slightly. He'll have Marvin Samoya right there up in front with them. Speaking of some battles that are starting to heat up as we continue to crest our way a little closer, 2.5 minutes time here from that competition caution. We're going to go side by side once again. This is bottom of your screen. It would be Jake Steckler, and top of your screen, we're going to hop on board with Joe Rainey. There you see it. This is so cool that we offer this here on Stam Studio Network. 2 different sims, but all of these different drivers going at it here on the racetrack, side by side into that entrance, that double right-hander of turns 1 and 2. There we see Marvin Samoya continuing to lead that battle between Joe Rainey, Stone Colby, Daniel Higgins, Jake Steckler, Juan Hallett. There we go, bottom of your screen, still going at it here. You can't get much better than this. Stam Studio Network, West Coast Sim Racing League. Well, what battle do you watch? I got you. I got at least the option between 2 different battles here. Joe Rainey continuing to put that defense over. Oh no, we got a spin there. That looks like it'll be Jake Steckler. No, Jake, no. That number 42, GR86, has seen better days. Looks like he'll take Juan Hallett out there out with him. Coming to 1 minute to go till that competition caution. Real quick, we'll take a look at this crash that just inspired here between Steckler and Hallett. Here we go, side by side. It doesn't really work throughout this up-hander too well. These cars getting extremely light. We're gonna have to take one more look at it there. One of my favorite shots here. Excellent camera work here on Stam Studio Network, and just door quarter not quite clear for Jake and Juan. They'll both go around, and who is that splits the Red Seas there? That looks like, I believe, Brandon Birch. No, Brandon will get involved with it as well. You hate that for all these drivers, but we will be coming to our competition caution here in just a few moments' time. Juan Hallett is not able to get that Toyota GR86 down and onto pit lane. Here we go into turn 1 for the final time before that competition caution does come out. Thiago P. de Lima leading Marvin Samoya as well as Joe Rainey. And that will put us under our yellow flag here. Stick with us on Stam Studio Network. We'll be right back with you as you should start to see. Yes, okay, woo! That is something that has at least worked correct for me here tonight. So, we've been everywhere tonight with our tech difficulties, but at least the caution flag will fly. We will only have, I believe, Jake Steckler, and if Juan Hallett decides to, yes, Juan will keep it out on the racetrack. We'll have a couple wave rounds in just a few moments' time. Stick with us here. Whoa, oh my days! Does Juan still have damage there? What just happened coming out, backing onto the racetrack? We're under yellow here, Juan. No need to force the issue. Matter of fact, it may have not even been his fault. We'll take a look at that Stam Studio Network replay, as well as Warren Johnson. He's going to go off track here. This is driver still trying to catch up. What happens here into turn 1? Oh, he just hits the curb, and excellent evasive action there with Warren Johnson. Warren's going to he's going to barely, matter of fact, miss that wreck. I'm going to do something special here. You guys are going to hear something behind the scenes happen here. Warren Johnson, you got a copy. Welcome up into the booth, man.
How we doing, Sean?
Doing good. What just happened there going into turn one, man? You had to make some really quick evasive action.
I don't know what the heck that was, and neither did the other guy. He didn't know what happened. I was like, oh, the tires must be ice cold, but yeah, I really got close to him in that time. I was getting taken out on the caution laps would be not very fun.
Well, Warren, that was definitely close here, but to bring you up into the booth just so you don't have to. I'm making this easier on you here. Let me know when I can open up pits and do wave rounds and all that. Just making sure I have everything set.
Yeah, do wave rounds now,
Okay,
and then get those done, and then as soon as they're around, then you should open the pits.
All right, I got you, man. So how's the old GR86 feeling here tonight?
Not too good. This track's really fun, but it's also very frustrating. And it seems like the easier tracks are also some of the hardest to like make up time. And if you make a mistake here, you're kind of screwed. And I didn't have a good qualifying, and it was just a bunch of things. But you know, we're still racing, so that's the important part.
Well, it's going to be a pretty intense restart here. What are you kind of looking forward to, or kind of looking forward to? I think all elbows are definitely. I think everybody's elbows will be out.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me make a quick announcement here. Stay to the left of the track for the lapped cars to go by. Everybody. Sorry. Yeah. You know, I'm just trying to get consistent laps. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Just stay with the pack. I had a mistake early on, and it just took me away from everybody, and so that was that. And then I'm just looking for consistent laps. I didn't expect a good result today for me, but that's okay. You know, we're here as long as I can stay with the pack. That's really my goal.
Looking like you're having a really good run here so far. P15 at the moment. Are pits open right now? At least on your little UI on the top of your screen.
It's pit lane closed, so you want to open them up? That'd be good.
Let's see what I can do here. You might have to go around one more time.
That's fine. One more lap's fine.
Okay. Well, cool, Warren. That's cool. I know that you guys did some endurance racing over the weekend. Some little Watkins Glen 6 hour. How did that go for you guys?
It was really, really fun until both of my teammates on both races wrecked the car. It was that's just how it goes. But it was really, really fun. We went from pretty much last place to P11 in our first race with me and Daniel Higgins, and then the second race I was with Steckler, and he destroyed the car on the second lap. So it was just over. So, but it doesn't matter. It was really fun. I had a good time. So.
It's so fun, kind of the differences between endurance racing and what you would call a sprint race like this. I know it's 40 minutes long, but with this yellow in between it and the opportunity to come and take some well, we're running fixed setups now, so really no adjustments you can make on these cars, kind of running what you got, huh?
All the adjustments need to be made personally with yourself, so that's all it is. Yeah.
Well, Warren, I appreciate you taking the time. Well, really, I drug you up here in the booth, but as long as pits are open and everybody is able to get their service, I'll go ahead and shorten it to one lap to go after this one.
Still says pit lane closed. I don't know if you are able to.
Let me see what I can do.
Does anybody need to go into the pits? Let me just ask.
Yeah, shoot. If not, I'll shorten this puppy right back up, and we can get back to racing.
If you need to go to the pits, let me know now. Otherwise, it's going to go green. All right, send it. It's going green the next lap, right? It says green next time by. Are the lights on the pace car?
Let me get a look here. Great call as we hop on board. Yep, the lights are off, so you guys are going to go green this time. Warren, I'll drop you back up here in the driver chat. Here we go. Best of luck to you, man.
Thanks, Sean.
All right. Apologies for all of that had just transpired here. We're going to get a slight checkup on this race start, but the field will be in Thiago's hands. This will be a traffic jam a little bit halfway through the field. We'll get back to green flag racing, though. Here we go, and backing up through the gears. This is what you wanted to see if you're back and up here in the front of the field. Really no cars going side by side, except back here where that Warren Johnson car is. Driver that we were just mentioning will look 3 wide heading into turn 1. Things are looking all clear for the moment. We're going to keep things all moving and grooving, just making sure there are no penalties here. We'll get back to racing as Thiago P. de Lima, Marvin Samoya is starting to look and take this field away by their hands, as well as Joe Rainey. He'll start to join this battle for 1 and 2. Here comes Daniel Higgins, Andreas Prienfalk's right there with him. Now we're starting to get some battling start to ensue. Matt Benson, Daniel Parmalee starting to go side by side. They'll single it back out to single file to complete and come to lap number, what are we working here? Lap number, there we go. 27 with 20, we're at the 26-minute mark, just about 15 minutes to go. Here comes Matt Benson. That's a doggy in the profile picture. He's got his tongue out. He's licking that stamp. Door quarter clear through turns 1 and 2. Matt Benson works his way up to P7. If you're asking where Stone Colby went this race, this driver actually dropped out due to internet. Stone Colby down and in the garage in the moment in that GR86. Here we go, battle starting to heat up once again between Marvin Samoya, Joe Rainey. That was some nice teamwork to try and make the dream work happen here at Lime Rock. Marvin Samoya has P2 solidified for the moment. Here comes Matt Benson. That's a little bit of contact, a little bit of damage on Brandon Birch's front nose. He's got Andreas Prienfalk right in front of this battle. We will come to complete lap 27, coming to 28 this time. Daniel Parmalee, Amethyst Reese, Benjamin Forehand, fighting right now for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Ali Xe, Andreas Profana will also start to fan out, look side by side out of turn number 7. Once again, which battles do you watch on the... I got you. This is some more side-by-side here on Stam Studio Network. Bottom of your screen is Brandon Birch, as well as Matt Benson going side-by-side. Top of your screen, we'll cut it back to Marvin Samoya and Joe Rainey. What do you watch here? I'm giving you the options. There is too much to miss. Marvin Samoya, Joe Rainey, he continues to close that gap. 0.3 of a second separating those two drivers. Now Birch and Benson start to get a little bit of a separation between themselves. Speaking of right around where these two drivers are running, we'll cut back to Paul Newton and Amethyst Reese. Benjamin Forehand, he's got his popcorn bucket out as he continues to reel in Amethyst Reese, gets in that little bit of a short shoot, well within that slipstream range. We'll see if there's a bit of momentum gain. Daniel Higgins just put down the fastest lap of the race. No way, 55.9. That's got to be graphics timing and scoring with another little bit of a glitch there, as we've seen that NASCAR truck will run quite a few seconds faster than these cars, although they have the downforce to work with. Don't quite have that power. Brandon Birch is dealing with a little bit of front nose damage right now for that VehicleBuyers.com number 36. He's sitting 1 spot gained right now. He'll have Matt Benson right there in front of him, trying to reel in this black and silver machine. That's a vehicle buyer. Oh no, that's Valhalla. There we go. This took me a second to see what was on the door of that machine, but Matt coming with some pace here tonight. You know who else is showing some pace? Joe Rainey. Once again, I believe this driver slapped it on the pole, or at least was P2. Joe Rainey, he's continuing to get ever so closer to Marvin Samoya's back bumper. We're going to hop on board with Joe Rainey this whole lap here at Lime Rock Park. Go ahead and sit back, relax. Joe Rainey's going to take us around, crank this puppy up, enjoy the sights and sounds of the racetrack with just 10 minutes to go. Alrighty, go ahead, slowly crank this puppy back down before I get a little bit too excited. Because we have Brandon Birch and Paul Newton starting to go side by side out of turn 2. All right, that is your one and only warning. Here comes Amethyst Reese, Paul Newton, Benjamin Foran's going to join this battle. You can throw a blanket right now over 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. We're going to work our way down our Paul Newton. Okay, now I've got the names all mixed up here. God damn. Well, and I'll tell you, oh no, we got a driver. I heard some tires squeal for their life there. I don't know if it was Sergi or Juan Hallett again. We're trying to see in the live timing and scoring. It may have been Stephen Shakespeare who went around. I know I heard some, I don't know if you guys and gals live on YouTube land heard that as well, but looks like Stephen Shakespeare, just he'll go out and off the racetrack. No real harm, no foul there. Brian Reyes out and off the racetrack once again. Coming just 8 minutes to go left at Lime Rock Park. Brian Reyes, that UT University of Texas at Austin, driver out of Mexico himself, trying to reel in Warren Johnson, league owner in the West Coast Sim Racing League. He's got that Versus Engineering at number 24, working with some pace here, but you better run, you better hide, because Warren, yeah, man, here comes Brian Reyes there out of Austin, Texas for the moment. Driver number 21 showing some pace, showing some speed here tonight at Lime Rock as we make our way through the S's, back and through the Paul Newman straightaway. There we go. It's not the Paul Newton. Paul Newman straight, but it's not really straight as it is. No, Brian, no! He will save that puppy. Holy moly, insurance companies, take a look at what Brian just did. That is not a save that you make in one of these GR86s. That thing was yawed more sideways than a Formula Drift machine here. That University of Texas at Austin GR86 lives to fight another day. Stam Studio Network logos on the back there, as well as that license plate showing UT a little bit better than OU. Back to some racing action. Here's Paul Newton. No, not Paul Newman. Brandon Birch right there behind him. That VehicleBuyers.com is slowly reeling in at Paul Newton. Got that back, got that gap down, just separated between less than 1/10 of a second. We'll work our way up through the hill. You hear the car beg for some revs. It gets up in the rev limiter there. These cars would get extremely light as we crest the hill here. Possibly just a slight bit of air time. Benjamin forehand reeling in Brandon Birch. So is this battle for Juan Hallett and Sergi Leonov. This is starting to get to the nitty. This is starting to get to the gritty. Coming to just, what are we working? 6 minutes to go. This is going to get good. There's another fake move for the inside line of Juan Hallett. He's shown minus 10 spots right now. The driver, the 512, possibly out of Austin, Texas himself, tries to reel in Sergi and get that P13 spot. Haven't missed up anything out up front. Thiago P. de Lima continues to lead with a 2.5 second gap. How many times have we said that? Not only this season, but last season as well. Marvin Stamoya, P2. Joe Rainey, Daniel Higgins, Andreas Prienfalk, P2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. Nico Colby coming in with a $9.99 donation. Woo-hoo-hoo! I'll tell you what, Nico, if Stone is still out here, no, he's not. Okay, well, I'm not going to say he called that there earlier for Stone, but just saying hopefully he doesn't go off track. Well, the internet is going to go ahead and go down for Stone there. But Nico, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, man. You've kind of been a driver coach of one of my own here out behind the scenes of racing. It's so much fun. Unfortunately, that you're not joining us here tonight, but wherever you happen to be spending this magnificent Monday night, or having a blast, you're a surfer yourself. Continue to ride those waves. You're continuing to ride the waves of the season here as well. One of our front runners within the points, missing run one race definitely won't hurt you at all. Real Life Apex Motor Club MX5 Rookie of the Year, Nico Colby. Appreciate that $9.99. Stone Colby saying unfortunate there. Moonlight Dancer Logan Stanley here live in YouTube land. Doing good so far, saying keep it up. Is Moonlight Dancer rooting on Marvin. Slater, Nico, Darren are all out of town, says Logan Stanley. I knew I saw some all bits of beach action there. Hopefully you guys and gals are having yourselves a great vacation here as we'll get back to some racing action. Just 4 minutes to go left from Lime Rock Park. This is starting to get good. Hopefully you got that pina colada out. That's a little bit of popcorn bucket because we are starting to get to a good battle. Joe Rainey, he made his way back and around Marvin Samoya for that P2 spot. He's got a 0.2 of a second gap to work with right now over Marvin Samoya. Marvin is going to have to start to put the pedal to the metal here as he's got Daniel Higgins right there behind. Gravel, grass, rooster tailing at the back of these GR86s. We're going to send it down into turn 1 for the 4th and probably 4 to 5 more times through turn 1. We approach minute 36.5 in the race. Here we go. Battles are starting to heat up, starting to get good here between Joe Rainey, Marvin Samoya, Daniel Higgins. Don't count out Andreas Frienfalk. He's in a little bit of a battle of his own right now as he's got Matt Benson right on his rear bumper. Daniel Parmalee is just 2.6 seconds back behind that battle as well as we cut back on board with that battle between Matt Benson as well as Andreas Frienfalk. This is starting to get good. Just 3 minutes to go from Lime Rock. Lap times within the less than a minute range. Should have about 3 to 4 laps to go from Lime Rock Park. This is getting good. Joe Rainey right now has P2 solidified. 4 seconds up to Thiago P. de Lima. There we go. Marvin Samoya will hop on board with Daniel Higgins, matter of fact, into turn 1. He'll try and send it down that inside. You can use a little bit of that curb. You got that suspension to work with here in this GR86. Doesn't have that run out of turns 1 and 2.
How we doing, Sean? I'm in the booth with you now.
All right, Warren, I am doing great. I will get you the live stream. Here we go.
Oh, I'm watching. I got you.
Make sure you watch the one with graphics on it here because I'm live on 2 different channels. But Warren, what happened to you, man? You're back up here in the booth, but it sounds like a unfortunate run for you.
Yeah, just slow. Just can't drive today. It's this isn't my track. I thought I liked this track, but now I don't. So. But no, it's cool. I like being in the booth with you, so it's fun to commentate on these things, and we're gonna see where we got 2 minutes left, Sean. We got 1:45 left. We got a battle for the lead going on, or is this P2 here?
Man, P2, Joe Rainey right now. He's gonna take the outermost line. It'll be a defensive line into turns 3 and 4, though. Marvin not able to find that grip, but here comes Daniel Higgins.
Daniel Higgins trying to make a move on the inside down there on that turn. That's kind of the preferred line, that tight inside line, but didn't get a good run off there. Joe pulling away here from that Marvin there as they come up the hill for this kind of speed, this jump here. You know, you get air. I think you got 2 tires off there. That's quite an interesting part of the track. Here they come down. They're going to come down to the main straight here, so you can get the best run. That's the most important here. This turn is the most important turn on the track. Like Joe get a little bit of air. That's not optimal. We're going to see. Look at Marvin's got a run here. He's going to try to put a move. Watch. Joe's going to take a defensive line.
This is the last chance that Marvin has.
Yeah,
this is our white flag lap.
This is it. Joe took a defensive line through that turn. Here comes Marvin up the inside of Joe for P2. Oh, he got the curb. Joe's wide. They're still side by side. Daniel Higgins looking for a move. Oh, don't mess him up there. Now Marvin and Daniel side by side. Joe's going to keep that P2 there. They get straightened out. Look at Daniel's got to run. Daniel's going for it. Here we go, side by side. Up the hill. This is the dangerous part of the track to try to make a pass. Let's see what happens.
Contact.
Get out of the way. A little bit of contact, but they kept it together. Look. Wow. Daniel Higgins took that spot from Marvin. That was pretty skillful right there, if you ask me.
That was more than skillful right there for that final driver interview spot. Great commentating on that there, Warren. Thiago P. de Lima will take the checkered flag. Here we go, run to the start-finish line. It'll be Joe Rainey, P2. Daniel Higgins, we saw that move right on Marvin Samoya on the white flag lap. There we see Matt Benson flashing his flashy lights. Andreas Pienpolk will take 5th and 6th. Daniel Parmalee 7th, 8th is Amethyst Reese.
Whoa.
Paul Newton. Holy, what happened there?
That was coming across the line. Let's go take a replay of that.
Yeah, we still got
They didn't even make... Well, Brandon Birch is going backwards here.
He's on 3 tires as well. He came across the start-finish line and reversed at Brandon Birch. Oh!
I think so. Oh, my goodness. Let's go take a look at that. What happened? Because the race wasn't over for them when that contact happened.
Let's take a look here. This is going to be what transpires coming to the checkered flag here as we head up and through the hill. This is going to get tight here between Brandon Birch, possibly Jake Steckler. We'll have to see
That's Juan
here.
Halat, I think. I think that's Juan Hallett or whatever his last name
Good call
is.
there, Warren. Let's see what
I
transpires
could be
coming
wrong.
through turn 7 here.
Brandon's going to go a little wide. No, they kept it together.
Uh-oh. This isn't good.
Ooh, that's not good. That is no good. That's not what you want to see coming down the main stretch. I look forward to reviewing this incident later on tomorrow.
I was going to say, man, Warren, you're the league owner here. That's 2 cars contact on a straight part of the track.
Let's rewind it a little bit. I want to see a far chase view from one of these cars. I want to see what's going on here. Yeah, right here. Let's play from right here. Okay, so Juan or whoever that is got the run. Dude,
that's tough,
it looks
man.
like,
Walk us through your race control call.
Well, the stewards are going to definitely take a look at this one. Juan is going up the inside, and he's going to the right. No. It looks like he just took out Brandon there. What is going on?
I'm more interested to see as we come out through turn 7 here. Let's hop on board with Juan and take a look at his driver inputs.
Because he has the massive run here, and you kind of got to check up when you get this way. You're going to slam into the back of the car in front of you. That's what ends up happening a lot of the time, and he's trying to stay off the grass because it kind of looks like he's on the grass right there. I think he has more room than he think he does. That's what it looks like. So he was trying to stay out. He's going to argue, I guarantee, he's going to say that Brandon pushed him off, but he had more room than he thought he did. Because if you look from the far chase, he still had another foot to the grass, I believe. And then he corrects all the way to the right.
And take a look at this. I mean, sure, you got a right, but look at this very slight movement on the wheel left, and then it goes. I think these cars are like magnet that sends it back right once again. But I'm just glad I'm not in race control, Warren. That'll be a fun one for you to view, and it'll look like Brandon Birch will get the spot in reverse coming to the start.
Yeah, let's see that. I want to watch this. This is how you finish the race.
Into the grass too. What a move there.
Juan got across. So they really didn't lose any positions because Brandon was ahead anyway. They didn't lose or gain anything from that. It just ended up that way. Wow, well it ended up being an exciting finish there. So that was pretty interesting.
Alrighty, well that being said, first we'll take a look at our race results. Then we'll cut to our live driver interviews down there in Victory Lane. Warren, I'm going to send you down there in Victory Lane so you have Thiago P. de Lima. But before that, I'm going to try and bring up these race results here for us. If not, just trust me. Thiago P. de Lima, Joe Rainey, Daniel Higgins, Marvin Samoya, Matt Benson, Andreas Prienfalk, Daniel Parmalee, Amethyst Reese, Paul Newton, Benjamin Forand rounding out that top 10, Jake Steckler, Brandon Birch, Juan Halat, Sergey Leonov, Ali Xay, Andreas, Brian Reyes, Steven Shakespeare, Warren Johnson, Stone Colby rounding out that top 20. Down there in Race to Stop Suicide, Victory Lane, Warren Johnson. Hopefully you got a copy with the man himself, Thiago P. de Lima.
Thiago, hello. Another win. How are you feeling? You got another win in our league. How are you doing, man?
I'm feeling very good, man. Actually, Lime Rock is like where everything started, so I do feel at home at Lime Rock, It's like I played Lime Rock like 15 years ago with the Pontic Solstice and the Classic Miata, so every time I come back to Lime Rock, I feel at home.
Wow, yeah, I do not share the same feelings about this track, but I'm glad that you do, and I'm happy for your win again. How big was that gap there at the end? It was definitely over 5 seconds, I believe.
5.3
was
at the finish line.
Yeah,
5.
Able to put a 5-second gap on this track where it's just nothing but draft. I mean, and you're out in front the entire race. What kind of, did you practice a lot beforehand, or is this just your track?
This is my track, man. I haven't done a single lap. I'm not gonna lie. I practice like 15 minutes during the practice before the qualify. 10 minutes just to warm up, and that was it. But I mean, this track, I know in the back of my hand, I always played this track.
That's good. Yeah, it's always fun when you have a your favorite track and you're doing good at it. My track, Watkins Glen and VIR, I really like those tracks. And Lime Rock is interesting. Last year kind of had a similar result. But I'm happy for you. You got another win, Thiago. Who are you thanking tonight for your win?
Well, I'd like to thank my family, and of course you, Warren and Stan, for putting the league and doing an amazing broadcast as always, and all the drivers that makes it happen.
Awesome. Well, it's good to hear, Thiago. Thank you for the appreciation. You're an excellent driver here in this league, and we're glad to have you, man. Congrats on your P1.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That being said, well, first of all, Warren, I appreciate you interviewing the winner there with Thiago P. de Lima. Congrats again congratulations once again to Thiago with coming away with that race win. P2 finish. This is going to be really, really big within the points as Joe Rainey continues to find pace in this GR86. Joe Rainey, you got yourself a copy.
Yes, how are you guys doing?
Oh boy,
Great.
I'm doing great after this run for you here tonight. We've seen it. You put that Stam Studio Network real life sticker on your car. You got one here in
That's
the
what
vinyl
did it.
world.
It was absolutely the sticker that did it. It's worth 2 or 3 tenths a lap.
I'm telling you, man,
Obviously.
2 or 3 tenths, 10 horsepower, Rainey Homes Racing, you'll bring it home P2. What was the battling like here tonight from Lime Rock Park?
Oh, it was really good. It was clean. Me and Marvin had a good time. Once Marvin caught up to me and Thiago, we battled a little and Thiago got away. There's nothing you can do. And the problem was, I think I had more pace than Marvin, but the reality was I couldn't get around him. So this is a very hard track the only place to pass is turn 1, really. So anyway, it was fun. It was a good time. At the end it was, then Daniel Higgins jumped in the middle of that fight, and it was great. I think everybody had a good time.
Joe, I got a question for you before you get it back to Sean. Sorry to interrupt, Sean.
No, you're fine.
But I know you don't like being in the interview room. Was that contributing to the 6-second gap for Thiago there? Could you have been a little closer? Or
no, well, what I get, I lost the lead to Marvin, before the halfway point, and and then I ended up behind Marvin, and I couldn't get past Marvin even though I was faster, and I just watched Thiago take off, right? So I think I had close to the same pace as Thiago. He was still a little faster, but I made one mistake and Marvin got it, and it took me a while to get past Marvin there, till he made a mistake later in the race. But by then it was too far. Thiago had 4 seconds on me at that point. You're not going to make up 4 seconds on someone like Thiago.
And especially at this track, you make a mistake at this track, it's very, very damaging to the race. And I didn't know who was leading the race because I was all the way back there in P20, like 10 miles away from you guys. So
what was crazy is two wheels in the grass in 2 spots each one was worth 0.2. So if you put the wheels in the grass, even, it was 2 tenths. I was watching it as I hit the grass a couple times, and every time I did it, it was 2 tenths. So you can't do it.
I kept right where the video is showing right now. I kept losing like 3-4 tenths. So I don't know what was going on tonight, but
and it's a really interesting track. The momentum is real, and it's trying to figure out that momentum of slow in, fast out, or I'm sure there's a master's way of doing that track, and I think Thiago was there. I mean, in the first half of the race, I think Thiago was honestly taking it easy with his tires. I mean, you could tell that he was just pacing himself and did a great job of doing exactly what he should. So, he just ran the right race, and the rest of us amateurs were just behind him to watch.
And then speaking of fast laps and mastering this track, I want to shout out our coaching sponsor, Con Coaching. You need any sort of help on any track, any car, this is the guy to do it. Zane Khan, he's our guy. He has a good discount for us. So join the league, get 15% off, and the first lesson is free. 30-minute lesson free. So make sure to check him out. I'll give it back to you, Sean. Sorry to interrupt, but I just had to talk to my buddy Joe.
Oh man, you are all good. Anytime you need there, Warren. Joe, congratulations on your P2 finish. We'll let you get going here, man, and our P3 driver, Daniel Higgins. But congrats once again on that P2 finish. It's another nice run for you in the points.
Hey, thanks, and congrats, Daniel.
You too.
Speaking of Daniel, Mr. Higgins, you got yourself a copy.
I'm here.
All righty, man. Walk us through kind of briefly your race here tonight. You really weren't up there in the top three throughout that first half of the race, but after that caution flag, you were able to find that pace in this Toyota GR86. Really, really nice lap time since then, and you'll bring it home P3.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck in fifth. Looks like the first half of the race, the top five was just kind of battling up front. Got away from the group, and it was a great battle for everyone. And then Stone disappeared, and I was like, no. I felt bad for him because it would have been an even better battle between five of us: myself, Marvin, Joe, and Tiago, and Stone. But I said, okay, I'll take the spot. So I get moved up one, and and then I think it's the first time I had fastest laps, so that was surprising, and I was surprised by that. But it was good, and then I started to join the fight between Joe and Marvin, and I just tried to get a podium, and it worked out in the end.
Daniel, it was so much fun to watch you tackle Lime Rock Park here tonight. What were the track conditions like, especially on those, not only the original race start, but the race restart about halfway through?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Oh, you're all good. I was just curious on what the track felt like, not only on lap one of the race, but as well as after that race restart after the caution flag came out.
Yeah, my front left tire was going really low, and we started to all slide, and I was trying to count, everyone's off tracks, and everyone seemed like they were higher than they were. It looks like it wasn't that high, but if we were all kind of going off on those turns, especially the last turn, there's probably just some grass on the track and gravel, and so that just kind of contributed to everything and battling. But it was a good battle. Congrats to Joe and Tiago on the podiums.
Well, Daniel, congratulations to you finishing that P3 spot. Who are we shouting out? Who makes this all happen for you here tonight?
You, of course,
Yeah.
Warren, and everybody who races in the league. Same as every week, and appreciate everyone. It was a good race.
I appreciate that, Mr. Higgins. Have yourself a great rest of the night. Congratulations once again on that final driver interview spot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, Warren, I appreciate you joining me these last couple of laps. Is there anything that you'd like to say to these live YouTube viewers here before we get headed back on the virtual plane, headed back home?
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, every week we appreciate all the views, and we've been getting some good view counts on our races. So
Heck yeah.
I'm happy to see that, and more people in the comments during the race. So that's really, really cool to see. And just thank you guys for watching, and just stay tuned for the rest of the season because it's going to be a good one.
Speaking of those live YouTube comments before we get headed back home, I appreciate Nico once again for that donation. That means the world to me. $9.99. Nico, Easy March Racing, it says, that was fun, guys. Great race. Birch likes your music. Oh, well, thank you, Brandon Birch. Logan Stanley, appreciate that. Moonlight Dancer, Terry, every single one of you joining us here tonight, as well as the viewers, 23 of you live. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm not even saying that just to say it here, guys and gals. Seriously, it all makes it happen here behind the scenes. I hope that you have a great rest of your night, Warren. Hopefully you make it through the virtual TSA and able to get back home okay. I'm hoping the same thing for myself. Until next time, got you Wednesday night for some Apex Motor Club out at Long Beach.
And we got Thursday night race, multi-class series. I don't even know where we are, but we're racing.
I'm right there with you, Warren. Everybody have a great rest of your night. Thank you again for watching here. Like, comment, and subscribe if it's something that you that you liked that much. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you.